We will reconvene the meeting at 1:46 while staff were working through some numbers. We did take the opportunity to have some lunch, so we're all refreshed and ready to see the tail end of this work today. Well, and the culmination of the days before us or prior to this as well. All right, so when we broke, we were discussing some potential revisiting of business cases. Just wanted to go to you, Councillor Dunbar-Smith, to see how you would like to proceed in that.
Yes, I've had discussions with my colleagues and decided to withdraw notice motion. So
Right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. So we've got now the items in this motion that is currently on the table with a mover and Councillor Kneebone and a second and Councillor Nicol. These are procedural matters. Can I just get you to take a mic there, Dave, and clarify?
That's correct. These items are a number of procedural matters to be addressed. They do not affect the business cases or the budget as such, but members will note that we have amended clause 3, where council approves the performance measures for each group of activities as set out in section 4 of the report. We've included "and as amended" during the meeting, just to highlight that
the discussion and
the discussions that have taken place will affect those.
happy with that.
Madam Chair, can I also just note the strike through of the recommendation that's up there, noting that council has passed separate resolutions in relation to its funding of Te Waka and the source of that. So I think that makes that resolution defunct.
Right, happy with that too.
All right, and is this the complete motion that's on the screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we've got a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, just noting that the numbers on the motion will change, will be amended to reflect the strike through. All right. So we have another motion or another recommended motion reflecting the culmination or the results of the cumulative discussion we have had to date.
Yes, so Madam Chair, this is the recommendation that captures the impact of all of those considerations and decisions of council through this meeting. And it states the total rates revenue from the total rates revenue requirement with the estimated increase in rates revenue from current ratepayers for each of the 10 years of the plan as the basis for consultation.
Madam Chair, can I just clarify, so there will be no further discussion on any of the business cases that have been brought before us in the last 2 days?
No. All right. Do I have a mover in this motion?
Gonna have to trust Janine on the maths, but
Big call.
doing that, I understand that that's happy to move.
We've got a mover, Councillor Nicol, secondary and Councillor Strange. So just along the lines of trusting the math, these are the numbers that support the indicative budget that you put forward just earlier in the
Yeah, correct.
meeting.
So councillors may see the numbers there in terms of across the first 3 years, the 6%, 8% and 3% rates increases, and which were as presented in that slide earlier today. The rates revenue figures, I guess what the magic spreadsheet is kicking out in terms of all of the changes that we've made and the modelled impact of that, sort of getting us to these positions.
All right, so You need a mic there, Councillor Smith.
So just for clarity and for the record, the 6% is the average of, excuse me, the general rate plus the targeted rate smoothed. Or is this relating to the general rate only? I just
So this is council's total rates revenue from current ratepayers.
So the message, excuse me, message that must be conveyed is there is two elements to this. The targeted
Absolutely.
and the general,
Yes.
and there is wide variation. So that's the message
It's-
that must be emphasised.
That's correct. No, that's absolutely correct. And I think we'd normally quite clearly explain that in the media releases and communication that we do. Along with, I guess, that graph that indicates for the majority of our ratepayers where this impact sits. Noting, as I said at the very beginning of the meeting, there is no such thing as an average ratepayer. So the impact of this will be widely varied.
All right, we have a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Are there any other matters for council today? Nope. That's it. Well done, everyone. Just to, I suppose, wrap up the last 3.5 days. So with this LTP, we've recognized the need for financial prudence and the need to do what we can to acknowledge and address affordability issues throughout our community. We've also recognized that our organization has statutory obligations that must be met, and we need to respond to areas of concern and interest in our wider community. We are collectively tasked with showing leadership on behalf of our region, and I believe we have done just that in delivering an LTP that focuses on resilience, efficiency, cost effectiveness, and strategic investment in areas that are important to the Rohi now and into the future. We have recognized the need for enhanced investment in biodiversity and biosecurity, protecting and preserving the taonga species and locations in our region on behalf of all of Aotearoa, be that in our terrestrial, freshwater, or coastal marine areas. We also recognize that one of the most effective ways to do that is in partnership with other organizations and groups committed to undertaking this work alongside us. We have recognized the importance of investment in science to provide an evidence-based foundation for our policy development and to underpin our advice to those who live, work, and play in our region. We have also recognized that ensuring well-planned and effective public transport in all of its forms is a vital component of how we facilitate access for people throughout our region as well as interregionally. We are planning for the future for our ever-growing population, the climate resilience of our communities, and the productive capacity of our economy. And we are not shying away from the hard conversations, such as how we provide for cost-effective and affordable infrastructure. There are many people to thank in this room and outside of this room throughout this organization for helping us to get to where we are today. And I really would like to acknowledge Haven Walsh and Jane Apperly and the corporate planning team, as well as Catherine Valender. Have I said your last name right? Valender, and the financial planning and reporting team, as well as the the tireless democracy services team. Thank you very much for helping us stay on track, helping us provide an avenue for our ratepayers to have access to our decision-making process. I also would like to acknowledge the authors of the business cases, Ed Brown, Mike Scarsbrook, Thomas Wilding, Michael Townsend, Patrick Lynch, Blair Keenan, Lisa Armstrong, Rick Lifting, Sarah Loynes, Phil King, Trudy Knight, Miffy Foley, Connie Chittick, Justin Wyatt, Hayden Jones, Allison Wheatley Wilson, and Melly Ahipenny, noting that those are the authors, and behind them sit an extensive team that helps ensure that the information that is put in front of council and councilors and our community is fulsome and accurate and allows us to facilitate a solid decision-making process. So thank you very much to all of you and all of your teams. Can I also acknowledge the executive team that I know has worked for months and months and months to get us to this point. I appreciate your tireless endeavors and your support that you offer to us, and also how you make yourselves available when we have specific questions or areas we'd like to explore in greater detail. So thank you very much. And finally, thank you to the counselors. Thank you for your attendance at all of the workshops, your engagement over months in the information and the dialogue and the discussion that has allowed us to reach this this conclusion here today. So thank you for your time, your energy, your focus, and your commitment to continuing to represent your communities and this region to the best of your ability. Well done. Well done. Thank you, everybody. And with that, we will close with a karakia. Were you going to start playing me out with some orchestra music, were you?
No, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, councillors. I do appreciate that. It's a lot to get your head around, and this is kind of the summary of a whole lot of other stuff that you've had along the way. So I do appreciate how much is involved and the way you've been able to get your head around it and understand it. Just before I close, I'll just wish you a happy weekend and a great Waitangi Day next week. Ona hea mai te uru tapanui, kia wātea, kia mama, te nākau, te tinana, te heninaro, i te ara takatu, koe rā e rongo, te kāria, aki ke runga, kia tina, omiei, huiei, tai kie.
All right, we'll declare the meeting closed at 1:58 p.m. Thank you, everyone.